Welcome, Taurus. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your March new moon reading. This is going to cover the first 2 weeks of March and coincides, is inspired by the new moon in Pisces conjuncting Jupiter in Pisces, but keeping in mind that Neptune, the other ruler of Pisces, is also in Pisces. So this is encouraging us to individually and collectively really reach for and attain, even if fleetingly, even if in a dreamlike state while we sleep, this unity, one love consciousness that is a part, a completion of our experience, our collective experience. And this is also encouraging us to be creative, to unleash our creativity as this conjunction, this new moon sextiles Uranus and Taurus, your sign. It is actually encouraging us to move away from the tried and true, to move towards what's innovative, what's inspirational, what's unexpected, and what is perhaps unfamiliar or even unknown. This is in and of itself very challenging for the Taurus energy. Change is really difficult resistance, but in this new moon, we have an opportunity to imagine and dream of change in a way that feels more aesthetically pleasing, more dreamlike, safer, and less threatening. So if you enjoy this reading, if you find it useful, please like and subscribe to my channel. And I'm going to get started with an overall energy of the Three of Staffs. This is a beautiful card that indicates that indeed you are looking and questing at new horizons. You are looking out to do something new, to move away from that area of complete safety and security, to explore new information, new terrain, and to actually cast your seeds out into the water. This card indicates that you are testing new ideas very tentatively, but very powerfully, because you are buoyed up by this desire to grow, to expand, and to move into a new direction. In the past, you have the Star card, the Four of Cups, and the Six of Jades. You, like so much of the planet, have been buoyed up by a new vision of possibility, a new faith in not only the global community, but in your own ability to persevere the tremendous challenges and obstacles that so many you have gone through, particularly. This has been a long, dark tunnel, but you do see the light at the end of that. And the light is in the form of a hopeful vision that is really pulling you through these difficult times, particularly at a time of perhaps your discontent, a sense that the same old, you have very carefully and warmly built up your emotional foundation, your community of caring. You have pieced together and grown that very carefully to create a foundation that you now find is not as satisfying to you as you would have hoped. You're hoping for more, you're looking for more, and it's quite possible that this more that you're looking for is in the form of your relationships. You are gaining a new appreciation of your role and responsibility in relationships, where you have, Taurus, quite often and customarily been the caretaker, the organizer, the comforter. You are now understanding that part of a satisfying relationship means that you have an expectation of receiving the same kind of support in return. So it's not about a tit for tat. It's elevating your expectation of relationships and making space for you in your life to receive the very kinds of support, nurturance, and attention that you customarily give to others. So this is a recalibration that really resets what has looked like generosity to you in the past is more careful, is more deliberate, is more thoughtful. You are giving to those according to their needs, which is the definition of real equity. However, the sense of an equal give and take, an equal exchange, is the basis on which you are now elevating your relationships altogether. In the present, we have the Five of Cups, the Six of Cups, and the Strength card. I love the Strength card, the cactus that blooms in the desert. And for those of us that grew up on the coast, I had a stereotypical idea of what a cactus was. And I had this cartoon vision of the desert blooming in this otherwise completely barren environment. And for those of you that live in deserts, as I have, you know that the desert is no such thing. It is full of life, and the cactus, through its ability to contain all this water, is host to birds, animals, flowers, creatures. And this is a kind of metaphor for the inner strength that has been required of you as you have gone through these very difficult and challenging times. Hard work, disappointments, obstacles, and throughout that time you have always given to those according to their need. So this is you actually gaining the wisdom and the emotional maturity as a result of your understanding of relationships and love. This is you having the emotional maturity to recognize that equal doesn't mean the same, that equity is about meeting the needs of each according to their needs, and yet that still requires the equal and equitable exchange of resources and connection between parties, between members. So you have now understood that you cannot measure all your relationships by the same yardstick. You are now in a position to really continue to grow your understanding, deepen your understanding of love and sharing. This has come out of a focus on the past. You have had a tendency to really excavate and explore your past, and this can be a result of some loss that you've experienced, family members deceased, the experience of community members, family members moving away, and new family members taking that place. But in that loss, the focus on your grieving has been very much a focus on the way things used to be, the way things appeared to be, and that grieving has turned to gratitude, to where you recognize what is left is the most important thing. The two cups that symbolize your ability to connect with your higher self in many cases. That means your capacity to improve your life, to be better, to recognize more potential, and to pursue that, but also your connection with others, so that this new understanding of relationship that is being reinforced in your life in multiple ways is really the ability to connect from a basis of real self-knowledge, understanding yourself, having grown and recognized the needs of all the members of your community, and your relationships within that community has really encouraged you to understand the nature of love, the nature of giving and receiving in a new way that does not look at the evidence of things or the equal exchange of ideas and resources, communication, but rather rest on the self-knowledge and the authentic expression of individuals based on who they are and their needs, and those are all different. Your emotional maturity has carried you through this time to recognize that the differences are valid and need to be respected in all relationships. We cannot treat our relationships the same, but we can have the same expectation of an equitable exchange, an even, fair give and take. In the immediate future, we have the Three of Jades, the Four of Jades, and the Ten of Cups. All these cups and pentacles bodes tremendous abundance, equality, fairness, and really ultimate satisfaction, emotional satisfaction, and growth among all the members of your community. Taurus, we have the Three of Jades here, which is indicating your ability to collaborate in new ways. This is moving you beyond and through your communal relationships into a new appreciation of working as an equal in order to create a product, a service of elevated quality. This is you assuming a variety of roles and recognizing and respecting the roles and contributions of all others in your collaborative efforts. So this is you relaying some flexibility, your ability to listen, as well as your ability to give. So this is a part of what you're learning about the nature of your desired relationships, the way you want relationships to be. And that means that you have to listen as well as express, contribute, and be able to measure and recognize the needs of others in your team. The Four of Jades indicates that you have carefully built your environment. You have carefully built your abundance, your comfort, your protection for your family. And you can be moving very carefully and in a very guarded way through these steps of growth, through the building of this new path, this new foundation. Where you were once discontented, you now are somewhat guarded, somewhat careful about the way that you proceed forward and the expectations that you share what you have. So this is sort of customarily Taurus building this comfortable, protected, safe environment. And finally, the Ten of Cups indicates complete wish fulfillment. There is, what is important about this card is that as you built your community, your home, your environment of abundance, of support, of nourishment and care, you have enjoyed the process. You are learning to enjoy the process of this building of abundance and wealth. This is as the community changes, as your family grows, shrinks, expands, moves away, separates, and is dispersed, you are enriched through every interaction. You are growing, you find fulfillment in every stage of the growth of this fulfilling, enriched community that you're a part of. I'm going to clarify the Strength card with the Hanged Man and the Emperor card. I definitely see you moving between two powerful energies as you've learned the lessons of this particular challenging time and you've come through this with strength. You have had to consciously, and you are in the process of consciously cultivating a new perspective. You are aware that the way that you've thought about things in the past is not applicable or satisfying to you and does not allow you to recognize all the wealth and benefits that are in your environment and available to you as resources. You are gaining a new perspective by opening up, by standing back, and by listening. And instead of this threatening your sense of mastery over your life, threatening your sense of control, it's actually cementing your ability to be in control of your environment and to continue better empowered to build towards this community of abundance that is your goal. This is not threatening. The ability to hear more, to open up to a new way of thinking that does not that is not fearful of some of the experiences of the past, but rather recognizes that any experiences of challenge or obstacle have created this empowerment that you are now experiencing in your life. So this is not about removing control. The changes that you are withstanding are about empowering you to make better choices, to recognize all the gifts and resources around you, and to allow those in your environment to give back to you, to nurture you, to care for you, and to help to support your path forward. I'm also going to clarify the Four of Jades here with the Two of Cups and the Judgment card. This is powerful. I see your significant relationship being rejuvenated. I understand that you have been called. You are understanding throughout your experiences to date, throughout the global crises that we are amid, that you have now understood your life purpose, your contribution to make to the world. You now understand what that is, and in recognizing that that skill, that purpose, you also understand that others have a purpose in their lives. In fact, that there is a bigger plan. Your significant relationship is experiencing a renewal of purpose, a renewal of connection as you see that the way that you have proceeded in the past, perhaps a way that you've clung to based on traditional values and a certain way that it's supposed to be, is no longer the requirement or expectation for you to find complete fulfillment and connection in your most significant relationship with your partner. You're now recognizing that you have come through and contributed to the world through your relationship, and that your relationship has now benefited from the things that you have learned as individuals. You're now able to come together and find new ways of communicating that support the authentic experiences of your life, the sense of authenticity of who you are. That knowledge of self is empowering a renewal of this relationship. So I find this to be an incredibly empowering message that shows you and your partner as being central to this community of abundance, satisfaction, pleasure, and joy. I'm going to finish up this reading, Taurus, with an oracle card. And if you've enjoyed the reading, if you found it useful, please like and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. And I have pulled this lovely pink crystal, a rose quartz. And the key word is self-love. I approve of myself and love myself deeply and completely. I'm going to leave it here, Taurus. I thank you for your time and your attention. And until next time, Namaste.